Hi there, it's Tom with Digital Foundry, and joining me today is Dave.
How you doing, Tom?
Yeah, pretty good, thank you. You've not been having a great time with this game, it's fair to say. This is Ark. Of course, it came out on early access on PS4 on the 6th of December, which of course means you also get it on the PS4 Pro. So today we're taking a look at both sort of incarnations of the game running on the standard and improved PS4 Pro. Right, so first off, what is the premise of this game? What is the thing that makes people come to this game in their droves?
Well, it's basically a game where you're on an island, it's filled with dinosaurs, you can plunder it, pillage it, train the dinosaurs to be kind of your mounts. It's kind of the dream, I guess, isn't it? You're interacting in an open world with prehistoric creatures, which is pretty cool.
So it's taking us back to the days of Turok and all that kind of late 90s Jurassic Park enthusiasm we had for that. But it's safe to say, technically, this game has been fraught with issues on PC and notably on Xbox One as well. So the concept is cool, but the delivery, well, it's not great.
It could use a lot of work. It's the same problems I'm seeing with PS4 as well. So the actual game itself is really buggy. So you things like respawning inside locked buildings. You've got sea creatures that are swimming on land, which it's all a bit of a mess from that perspective. So even though there's a lot of stuff that's charming about it, it's also quite broken in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so whenever I see the footage of this game running on your PC, because you've been delegated to work on it, sadly, I'm always thinking, well, this looks hideous. Why would anyone play this? There's popping everywhere. It's just a buggy mess, frame rate all over the place, poor image quality. What is the score with the PS4 version, though? Is it any better, or is it just no hope from a technical slant?
It's kind of a bit of a mess there as well. If you're running on PS4 Pro with the detailed option, you do get native 1080p visuals, which is what we're seeing here in this gameplay footage.
Right, so before we go into that, there are two modes?
Yes, well basically there's a little checkbox and it says detailed graphics, so that adjusts the resolution.
So, on standard PS4, let's get this in order. Say you don't have it checkboxed.
Okay.
On the standard PS4, what do you get then?
You get around 680p.
680p, that's not great at all. Frame rate, what are we getting from the normal version?
Okay, well, so there's two modes. The normal is 680p and the detail mode is 720p. The idea is basically normal is supposed to run uncapped, or it does actually run uncapped, whereas the detail mode is capped to 30. But most of the time, when you're just running through the general environment in sort of non-demanding scenes, you're looking at a 30 FPS game with some spikes above on the normal mode.
Okay, that's not great. Ideally you want it capped at 30 if there's no chance of it hitting 60, so clearly 30 is the best option here. So really, base PS4 owners probably advised to go with the normal mode, I guess?
Yeah, I would say choose the normal mode even though it looks a bit softer, because as soon as you start getting into really sort of foliage, dense areas, performance absolutely falls off a cliff on the detailed mode. So, as you can see here, we're looking at a locked 20 FPS with the 720p detailed mode in this kind of scene, and I gotta say, I found it unplayable having such a low frame rate consistently,
Yeah, and this scene looks pretty nice. The sort of lighting playing across the foliage, the plants. I like the kind of aesthetic of that, but it's not worth the frame rates we're getting from this. Yeah, it's such a low resolution as well.
It's kind of the real problem. If you want the smoother frame rate, like the 30 FPS, you've got 680p and it just looks really sort of murky and soft. So while there are like quite a lot of cool aesthetic things you see here with the lighting and the trees and stuff and the actual level of detail, you're not really able to appreciate it, to its fullest. It's kind of, I don't know, it's not a great choice, is it?
No, as a compromise, it's not the right one to make. I noticed some frame time spikes all the way down to near the 100 millisecond mark. Is that a common thing?
I saw the same thing in the Xbox One version. I'm not sure if it's the netcode that's causing it, but the game has lots of little stutters that appear throughout play, which can be really distracting. I think they did patched that on Xbox One to make it a bit smoother, but the issue still crops up on, PS4.
Well, shall we move on to the PS4 Pro, which is, to be honest, I'm not holding out much hope for this. Bearing in mind, even PCs seem to really struggle with this game. You can have a top-end rig and you're still looking at pretty dire frame rates. So there's something inherently unoptimized about this engine, I guess is the best way to phrase it. So here we are, PS4 Pro, the normal versus the detail mode. What have you got to say for it?
Well, you're looking at normal is 720p and then detail is 1080p. And again, the idea is uncapped frame rate, or should I say 60 FPS is the target for 720, and then 30 is the target for 1080. But I got to say, while there are moments where you get 720p 60, there's a lot of times where the game is like 720p 30.
Boy, I can see the drops already. So we're starting off at the 60 FPS parts here. That's looking, vaguely tolerable. I can accept that. Whoa, no, that's no longer fair. So is that like a double buffer VSync to sort of locking at 30 once it can't hold 60?
It definitely looks that way. All of these areas are basically straight 30 on the normal mode, so you got 720p 30, so image quality looks pretty bad, and you're not even getting a decent level of performance, not for the Pro anyway.
So there's literally no benefit to playing at 720p if that's the case, bearing in mind 1080p with the detail mode gets you at 30 as well.
Yeah, well actually the detail mode actually gets a lot worse. You actually go down to 20 in the same scenes that push the engine. You're not even getting 1080p 30 in this, you're literally going down to sort of 20 frames per second, so the experience at times is as bad as on the stock, the base PS4. So again, you've got high resolution, but your performance is not good.
Okay, so let me get this straight. 720p and 30 frames per second on the PS4 Pro. This must be the worst performing and one of the worst looking games on the console.
I gotta say, in that mode, it's an absolute disaster. When you chalk up how sort of buggy it is, the poor image quality at 720, and you're not even getting 60 frames per second out of it. I don't know, it's not a good choice at all, is it?
No. So this is an early access game, right? Do you know when the actual release date is?
They're saying it's like early 2017 at some point.
Okay, they've got a lot of work to do. It seems like people are signing up maybe a year ago on the Xbox One version, and it was maybe fair enough to say they'll improve it, but the kind of trajectory of improvements we've seen from this game on console hasn't been suggestive of enough of an improvement, of salvaging what's here. It's like, where is the final product materializing? It's not happened yet. We're not seeing anything above these really weak frame rates, and the image quality is dire on any platform you care to choose. So
if I'm honest, I don't know how big of an improvement we're going to get. From when I played it last year, or the beginning of this year rather, it's still the same issues. The image quality, lots of bugs, and they might have sort of been fixing things in the background, but you don't have to play very long to have game-breaking instances happen. So I'm not confident that the final release is going to be massively better, considering it hasn't improved loads in the past year. I'd say it's stayed very much the same with regards to image quality and the stability of the experience from what I've played anyway.
So the same level. So to keep level-headed on this, we can't write it off until it is officially released, but the obvious recommendation here is just don't get into the early access and put money down for this to be a beta tester for something you don't know will actually be improved by the final launch date. It seems bizarre that this is happening, but here we are.
Yeah, I agree. I gotta say, if you're really interested in the concept, which is awesome, I have to say, then maybe wait until they have a free sort of early access weekend or something to see if you can tolerate those issues, because a lot of people absolutely love this game even with all these problems. Personally, I wouldn't be able to play it like this at all. I haven't enjoyed my time with it, but if they could fix a lot of these issues with frame rate, image quality and the bugs, then it could be an intriguing experience behind that. But Yeah, I would say, try first before you put your cash down.
Right, well that seems like as good a place as any to leave it. Thanks for your time, Dave.
Cool, no worries, Tom.
If you enjoyed this analysis, please do like and subscribe below, and also check out our Patreon to see this video exactly as we intended it to be shown on digitalfoundry.net. Thanks for watching and catch you next time.